You know, when it comes to Yom Kippur, the mode of operation is pretty obvious. Everybody knows what Yom Kippur is all about. Even little children understand Yom Kippur is about fasting, inflicting oneself, and gaining atonement, kapara, forgiveness from Borei Olam. You know, even my little daughter, Shtia B'riyah, 6 years old, and she comes to me on Friday night. Fast just started. So I went to shul and I came back. And as I come back, she comes to me and says, Daddy, I'm still fasting. I said, wow, that's unbelievable. You're still fasting? So my other daughter comes and says, what are you talking about? 5 minutes after the fast started, you ate. So my daughter turns to her and says, no, it doesn't count. I said, time out. Okay. Amazing. So even little kids understand what Yom Kippur is all about. But the question is, what is Sukkot all about? What's the goal, the intent of Sukkot? What am I supposed to internalize? What am I supposed to take with me? How am I supposed to conduct myself on Sukkot? What's the mode of operation? What's the goal? What's the end? When tomorrow is at the Shem, when Sukkot is over, what did I gain? And that's really what I want to talk about tonight, because I think it's very important, and I think that even though the answer is very obscure, it's definitely present. Everybody ready? So let's get started. It's a pasuk, Parashat Emor. And Parashat Emor, the pasuk writes, "Basukot teshu shivat yamim." You got to sit in Sukkot for 7 days. Why? Because I want your generations to know, because I've settled, I placed Bnei Yisrael in Sukkot, when I took them out of Egypt. And everybody knows the Gemara, Masechet Sukkah, the Firal from Rabbah. And the Gemara comes and writes, what Sukkot are we celebrating? What exactly are we commemorating? What's the Machlok to be Eliezer and Rabbi Akiva? Right? One rabbi says, it's Keneged Ananei Kavod. It's corresponding to the clouds of glory. And one rabbi says, Sukkot Mamash Asalem. He really made them actual huts to live in. By the way, both are true. They lived in Sukkot as they were sojourning, but they also had Ananei Kavod. 1 second. What exactly was the function of the Ananei Kavod? Well, everybody knows. The Gemara Masechet Ta'anit, Dafter Amud Aleph, writes that the Ananim came in the merit of Aaron HaKohen. And we know that what happened when Aaron HaKohen passes away, Parashat Chukat, what happens to those Ananim? They disappear. And what happens right away? Right? Melech Arad comes and he starts fighting with Bnei Yisrael. So the rabbi's right. Because the entire time they were sojourning, as long as they were circumvented, they were surrounded by those Ananim, they were invisible. Bnei Yisrael were hidden. They were concealed. Nobody knew who they were. Nobody knew where they were. And therefore, the second Aaron Kohen passes away, and those clouds evaporate, right away, Bnei Yisrael are revealed. We now know where they are and what they're all about. So it's very possible that Sukkot is all about a term in Judaism called siniut. And I don't mean siniut modesty, I mean siniut privacy. That a person has to, on Sukkot, privatize his life, to conceal his life. And that's really what Sukkot is all about. And I'm going to prove it to you, by the way. I'll prove it to you. Mishnah Sukkah, the second Perek, the second Mishnah. Is that me? That's amazing. Comes and writes the following. What signifies, what constitutes the kosher Sukkah? Shetzilata merubah mehamata. It has to be that there's more shade than sunlight. Again, this idea of being covered, of covering yourselves. Now the question is very simple. What does that have to do with Yamim Noraim? You know, many times you have two holidays and they're connected. Rosh Hashanah, verdict is given. Yom Kippur, verdict is signed. Pesach, Bnei Yisrael went out, set out to get the Torah. Shavuot, they received the Torah. So we see that there's some sort of flow. But what's the flow between Yom Kippur and Sukkot? What is the connection? Is there a connection? So I want you with the words of Rav Dessler. Rav Dessler comes and says something unbelievable. Listen to the words of Rav Dessler. Tzniut is a very important midah to acquire. It's something that every person should attain. Says Rav Dessler, especially for a Baal Teshubah. Someone who repents, who comes closer with Olam, who nears towards his Father in Shamayim. The one midah you have to retain is the midah of tziniut, of privacy. And the idea is very simple. Why do I have to be tzanu if I'm about teshuvah? The answer is very simple. Because many times the things that we do, all these transgressions that we transgress, all the violations that we violate, all the impurities, all the iniquities, all come because we want to impress somebody. All because we want to publicize, because we want to show off, because we want to flaunt. And therefore comes Borei Olam and says, listen, right now you just attained mechilah. Right now you attained atonement. Right now I forgave you. Hide yourself. For 7 days I want you to take yourself and I want to privatize your life. I want to conceal yourself. I want you to go into the sukkah where nobody sees you. And I want you to privatize your life. Because that is the essence of Sukkot. And I'll prove it to you. There's a pasuk in Micha. Pasuk in Micha says the following. Yani, if you're listening, listen to this. Pasuk in Micha comes and says like this. The sixth parak in Micha. Here we go. What do you think Borei Olam needs? My 1,000 animals? My streams of oil? What, do you want me to give my child to Borei Olam? Says wait, 1 second. What's going on here? What exactly are we talking about? Says B'Sudat David, Ma'u ha'gemul sha'aseh lo ki chapar chatat nafshi. Borei Olam just forgave me. How do I compensate him? How do I reciprocate? What do I do to give Borei Olam thanks and gratitude? So the pasuk continues. There are 3 things. Higid lecha adam matov. Borei Olam says, I'm going to tell you what's good. What is God asking from you? 3 things. Number 1, ki asot mishpat. I want you to be just. Number 2, ve'ahavat chesed. I want you to be kind. And number 3, ve'hatznea lechet im Elohecha. Borei Olam says, I want you to be private. I don't want you to broadcast your life. I don't want you to post your life. I don't want you to come now and publicize your life. Everything that you have in life has to be private. That's how you could pay me back for forgiving you. To make sure you conceal your lifestyle. And that's really what I want to talk about tonight. Tonight, this morning, this is exactly what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the idea that we have to privatize our life. By the way, it fits very, very nicely with the pasuk. What does it say? Basukot yeshvu shivat yamim. You got to sit in the sukkah for 7 days. Why? When? When did I put Bnei Israel into the sukkot? What happened in Mitzrayim? Bnei Israel were on the 49th level of Tumah. And they did teshuvah, they repented. They came back to Borei Olam. Borei Olam comes and he extracts them from the impurities of Egypt. And what's the first thing he does? He puts them in hiding. Because that's the midah that a person has to acquire after they do teshuvah. Because it's the beginning of sin, iniquity. It's the beginning of straying from Borei Olam. When we start looking to publicize what we do, our accomplishments, our successes, our belongings, when we start flaunting what we have, we already start straying from the highway of Borei Olam. So again, there's 2 areas that I want to focus on, where I think we have to lead private lives, not to show anybody what's going on in our homes, not to show what's going on in our life. And that is, number 1, our successes. And let's talk about it for a second. How many times do you see people who like to flaunt their cars? The other day, right after Yom Kippur, we're saying Birkat Lebana. And as we're saying Birkat Lebana, all of a sudden a car comes right by us. He takes a look at us, he takes a look to the right, takes a look to the left, and he starts vrooming, gunning his engine, and he flies by. Okay, another Meshuggah, what am I going to do? So he drives by, take a look at my guys, we roll our eyes, wonderful. 2 minutes later, the car comes back, and again, he comes right, he looks back, he looks right, he looks left, and he goes back. What's going on? I don't understand. I said, who'd you buy the car for? You bought it for you to drive or for me to look at? If you bought it for me, move aside, I'll drive. I don't see what you're doing. By the way, I have a nice car. I do. I have a Janda, a Zeytouneh Honda. You like that? Okay? It's a 2006 but I customized it. I have 2 dents on both corners. Okay? Beautiful. You have to publicize your car. What is that? Borei Olam gave you a gift, hide it. I'll give you another example. There's new shoes. People like to flaunt their shoes. There's a new shoe. It's called Easy. You know what I'm talking about? Anyone know what I'm talking about? Easies? No? You guys are great. You know what Easies are? Eliezer Zeytouneh, you've never heard of them? They're good? Okay, Easies, they're called Easies, and they go for like $1,000. People come walk around to me and say, Rabbi, you like my Easies? Get out of here. I have to take a look at your shoes. I'm impressed with your shoes. I don't understand. How many times do we spend more money than we have because we're trying to flaunt? I know people who spend money they don't have on weddings for their children. I know somebody once who wanted to spend $150,000 on a wedding. The daughter came to him and said, listen, Daddy, please, you know what? Don't spend $150,000. Spend $100,000 on the wedding. Give us $50,000. Give us $50,000. We could start our life. And the father refused. Can you imagine? Crazy. By the way, if the father would have said yes, I would have asked him for another 50 for me. Okay? What does that mean? How is that possible? Your daughter's asking you for money to start off a life. But we have to broadcast not only what we do have, we broadcast what we don't have. I'll give you another example. Another vacation. We flaunt our vacation, post it on Instagram. Right? Here I go. Look, I went to I know somebody who sent me pictures of every detail of their vacation. Every detail of their vacation. I said, I don't understand. If you want to send me a ticket, send me a ticket. Don't send me pictures. Okay? Send me a ticket. I had to see that he went with his kids. He took them to the beach. Okay? They went to a beach. It was an empty beach. It looked Rabbi, private beach. Good, very nice. They went for dinner. They went for breakfast. They went to the upper building. I mean, really. Is that so important? I have to see what you're doing with your children. Hide your children. What's going on over here? A family altogether. How many times do we post pictures of our children? What are you doing? Your most beloved possessions. Hide it. Retain them. Conceal them. Nobody should know anything about our family. People post, they have status pictures. So they post all their kids for many, many people to look at. Why? What Elam is telling you, I want you to conceal yourself. These 7 days is all about I'm hiding myself. I'm hiding my successes. What happened to Bnei Yisrael? They came out with an upheld arm. They came with tremendous amount of bounty, prosperity, wealth. Unbelievable. What Elam says, you're successful? Hide it. Put it into the sukkah. Hide it amongst, right, within the Ananei Kavod. Don't publicize. Don't broadcast. Don't publish. Make sure you stay reticent, concealed, and hidden. Person comes and buys his wife a gift. What does she do? She flaunts it. Right? She goes, here's our picture. Everyone has to see my wedding ring. And everybody has to see my fur coat. And everybody has to see my new shoes that he bought me. Why? Your husband gave it to you. He didn't give it for everybody else. That's the lesson of Sukkot. That I have to learn to privatize, to conceal, to hide my life, my successes. By the way, I want to tell you a secret. You want to hear a secret just between me and you? You see this? There's really hair there. I'm just hiding it. Okay? Amazing. Because when a person has success, it's so important to keep it private. So that's number one. But what about our actions? Our actions. A person does something good. You do a favor for somebody. You give tzedakah. Do we publicize that? I want you to hear the wonderful words of the Pele Yoetz. Say the Pele Yoetz the following words. I'll read it to you. Okay? Matana la'ani tzericha liot beseter. When a person comes, you give a gift to an ani. Or a person, you visit an orphan. Or a widow. Or someone who doesn't have anybody. It has to be beseter. No one's got to know what you're doing. You don't have to flaunt your actions. You don't have to publicize them. In fact, we know what it says in Mishleh. Mishleh writes, Matan basiter ichpe'af. When a person gives secretly, it dissipates Borei Olam's anger. The anger subsides when we do it quietly. We have Tefillat Musaf. We say the following words. It's an amazing thing. We say, Borei Olam, Ki zocher kol hanishkachot ata. Borei Olam, you remember things that are forgotten. Chacham Ovadia Zecher Tzadik V'Kadosh Yivracha comes and says something phenomenal. Listen what he says. Chacham Ovadia says, what does it mean you remember things that are forgotten? Says Chacham Ovadia, when a person goes up to, after 120 years and he's standing in front of the heavenly throne and Borei Olam is right there judging him. And Borei Olam comes and says, listen, what did you do in your life? And a person's shivering. And he says, you know what? Borei Olam, I did nothing. Borei Olam says, 1 second, that's not true. And he reminds us of all the mitzvot that we did that we forgot about. But Chacham Ovadia says that's only if you forget after you do the act. If you forget about it, if you keep it hidden, if you don't publicize, if you don't inform, if you don't broadcast, if you don't publish, if nobody knows what we do, then Borei Olam remembers it. But if we go around and we publicize, and everybody knows what we do, then it's not called nishkach. That's niskar. It's remembered. So then Borei Olam forgets it. When you go up to Shamayim and say, wait, 1 second, Borei Olam, what do you mean? I gave tzedakah. Borei Olam says, yeah, of course, but everybody knew about it. It doesn't count. But Borei Olam, I made shalom bayit. Yeah, but that's very good. But after that, you went around and you told everybody how wonderful of a shalom bayit master you are. You're a maestro. So it's not in the books over here. Unbelievable how important it is to keep things private. That, by the way, is possibly why Simchat Torah comes when? On Sukkot. Because the Torah that you're going to learn, you just finished the Torah. You just finished, you completed it. The Zot HaBeracha is wonderful. But you got to make sure that it stays in the Sukkah. No one has to know the Torah that you're learning about. No one has to know the chidushim that you're, well, actually, chidushim you're supposed to publicize, but you don't have to flaunt them. In fact, we know there's a Gemara Masechet Makot, Daf Kav Gimel Amud Bet. And this is the first time I heard this Gemara. I learned it with my students. It was mind-boggling. It was baffling. The Gemara says, you know what, there's 3 times, right? Behani tlat mileh avdira banan de mishanem b'milayhu. There are 3 times where the rabbis change their words. That means that they alter their words. I don't want to say lie because sheket is against the Torah. Here the Torah is telling you do it. Say the facts not as they are. Alter the facts. Here they are. Number 1 is masechet. Number 2 is something called puriyah. Number 3 is called ushpiza. 1 second. What's masechet? Says Rashi, if someone comes to you and says, hey, did you learn Masechet Ketubot? And you didn't learn it. Say, no, I didn't learn it. Why? Mishum hanava. Mishum hanava. Hey, try it. Ask me if I learned Masechet Ketubot. Masechet. Because the Torah that I learned, nobody's business. No one has to know. By the way, Tosafot says 1 second. Somebody comes and asks you a halachic question, you can't say, well, I don't know if you do know it. That's true, that's what Tosafot says. But if someone just says, hey, did you learn Ketubot? And you say, no. Rabbi, you learn Kabbalah? No. You don't learn Kabbalah. Mishum tziniut. Mishum anava. We hide the Torah that we learned. What about number 2? Number 2 is puriyah. Puriyah are things between husband and wife. Things between husband and wife within a marriage. That you hide. Okay? Rabbi, where did you take your wife for your anniversary? To the pizza store. Okay? By the way, that is where I took her. No, I didn't. Okay? Pizza store. Be allowed to lie. Why? It's no one's business. Siniut. It's no one's business. What do you get her for anniversary? Right? It's no one's business. And therefore you're allowed to say a fallacy. You're allowed to say something, right, which is not factual. Because your marriage has to be privatized. But the third one is what really bothers me. Says the Gemara number 3. It's called ushpiza. What's ushpiza? Says Rashi. Let's say you go to someone's house. Okay? For instance, you come out to this Chazaq event. It was a wonderful event. And they fed you unbelievably. Okay? Yaniv, any leftovers? I'm taking them. What? You have leftovers? Okay, for me and my wife? And my shul? Oh, you have that much? Shema Yisrael. Okay. How is this joking? Okay, 1 second. So you come to a Chazaq event, a Chazaq event is unbelievable. And now you leave, and someone comes and says, did they feed you well? Does Yaniv feed you well? Even though he was an unbelievable host. Says Rashi, you're supposed to say, no, it was okay. What do you mean? No, it's okay? What are you talking about? Why would you do that? Says, Mishum Lashon Hara. Lashon Hara? What do you mean Lashon Hara? It's Lashon Hara if I say he was okay. He was unbelievable. I'm supposed to say he's great. Nobody liked him. And the answer is, because the Chafetz Chaim writes that there are 2 types of Lashon Hara. Number 1 is something which is Genai. It's negative information. Okay? Rabbi Zeytouneh is bold. That's Lashon Hara. Okay? It's true, but Lashon Hara, that's true. Okay, fine. No, it's hidden. Don't forget. Okay, fine. The second one is Davar Mazik. Wait a second. Let's say this guy's a schnorrer. He's a mooch. And therefore, if I tell him Yaniv feeds you like a king, guess what happens? All the mooches are going to go to Yaniv, and there's going to be no more food for me to take for me in my shul. It's all going to be gone. So it says the Gemara, change the words. Change it. Don't be factual. Bend it. But I think I have another interpretation of the word ushpiza. Because ushpiza means a host. And I think the Gemara is telling you that if someone asks you, wait a second, I heard you had guests in your home. What'd you make? Oh, you're going to start from the beginning. Well, for appetizers, I made kibbeh. You guys eat kibbeh? You know what kibbeh is? You don't have kibbeh. Yaniv, you didn't serve kibbeh tonight? That's it. If there's no kibbeh for leftovers, I'm out of here. Now, okay, you serve kibbeh, lahm ajin, you know, there's something you guys serve. What is it? I have students that tell me, what's like the main... What? Yeah, that. Okay, and you serve it to him, and you gave it to him, and you treat him like a king. Says the Gemara, don't say that. You treated him like a king, you're a great host, hide it. I put out a little food, whatever. That's ushpizah. Because I have to hide my successes. I have to make sure that I privatize my life, I conceal my accomplishments. It's not for anybody to know. That's what it means, ushpizah. That even, one person... The other day, I got a picture. Sent right to my phone from a family member. And I take a look, and all of a sudden, it says, quinoa salad. What's a quinoa? Quinoa salad? I said, first of all, I never tasted quinoa. Give me steak salad, we're talking about. Now you're talking. And number 2, I was looking through the picture, and I magnified it with my 2 fingers like this. Okay? And there was no quinoa in the salad. What happened to the quinoa? Must be she got so excited about the quinoa salad, she ate all the quinoa before she took the picture. I said, I don't understand. Why do I have to see what you're making? Why do I have to see what you're cooking, what you're baking? You did something good, you accomplished, you achieved, hide it. Keep it hidden. The Gemara Masechet Tani Daf Cher Amud Bet. Everyone knows this Gemara. Right? En beracha shiruya ela bedavar hasamui min ha'ayin. Beracha only resides, is only contained in something that's hidden from the eye. Wait a second. Says the Ben Ish Chai, the Ben Yoyada, beautiful thing. Take the word samui and do the gematria of the word samui. Samach is 60. Mem, 40 is 100. Vav is 6, 106. Yod is 10, 116. And says, wait a second, samui in both eyes. Has to be hidden from both eyes. So 116 times 2 is 232. Says the Ben Yoyada, you want to know what else is 232? The word haberacha. Because when you hide things from your eyes, and you don't publicize, and you don't broadcast, and it's not common knowledge, then there's beracha in that substance. There's a Gemara Masechet Sukkah. Gemara Masechet Sukkah, Daf Kaf Chet Amud Bet. Comes and writes like this. Mitzvah Sukkah Ketzad. What is the mitzvah of Sukkah? Listen very carefully. Unbelievable. Says, Hayu lo kelim na'im, moridam l'sukkah. Right? Machnisam l'sukkah. Moridam l'sukkah. You have nice vessels You bring them into the sukkah. Until now, I thought that means if you have a nice platter, you bring it into the sukkah. You have nice china, you bring it into the sukkah. But today, I understand the Gemara differently. Today, I understand what it means is if you have valuables, you have a nice car, put it in the sukkah, meaning hide it. No one should see it. You have a nice, suit. No one should see it. My shoes, no one should see. My valuables, kelim na'im, machnisam u'nidam b'sukkah. Ochel v'shoteh b'sukkah, says the Gemara. Same idea. What I'm eating, what I'm drinking, private. There are guys who go out to restaurants. Ever do this? You go to a restaurant, and there are people who like to walk by by every table and see what you're eating. Right? One time a guy went like this. I said, "Put your nose in my food, why don't you?" What is that? I don't understand. Right? Privacy. By the way, it's halakha. You're not allowed to look lo ba'ochel v'lo ba'ochel. You're not allowed to look not at the eater and not the food. It's private. Asur. What I eat and I drink in the sukkah, it's got to be private. It's got to be concealed. It's got to be hidden. 1 second. Umeshanen basukkah. The Torah that I learned, I have to learn in the sukkah. What does it mean? The same thing. That my Torah has to be concealed. Now I understand the Gemara in a totally different light. 1 second. And the last one. Umetayel basukkah. Metayel basukkah. I never understood that. Walk around the sukkah. Tour the sukkah. As big a sukkah as you can get. How long does it take for a person to tour a sukkah? I don't understand. Walk around the sukkah. What are you walking around the sukkah for? And the answer is very simple. The word letayel means when you're taking a trip, you're traveling somewhere, you're going on vacation, basukkah. Nobody has to know where I'm going. No one has to know to where I'm venturing. Nobody has to know where my destinations are to. It stays quiet. It stays private. And by doing so, then I'm able to keep and to contain the beracha. 1 second. How many days do I have to sit in the sukkah? How many days? 7 days. Why do I have to sit in the sukkah 7 days? What is the point of my sitting in the sukkah 7 days? Say, you're going to love this. Ready? What do we say? Why do we sit in the sukkah dafka now? Specifically right now. You want to know why? Because what did Rav Dessa say? Because for a Baal Teshuvah, you have to have the midav tzniut of modesty. Not a modesty, a privacy. However, we know that tonight, today, our verdict is finally sealed. And there's Mesirat HaPitakim. So B'nai Olam says, listen, you can't be private your entire year. That's something you have to work on. But at least for 7 days. At least until Kaf Aleph Tishri. Until now, when we're going to give in that verdict, please retain that privacy. Don't publicize your life. Don't broadcast your belongings. Don't take a picture, a selfie. I don't understand the selfie business. I don't understand the selfie business. When nobody wants to take a picture of you, you have to take a picture of yourself? I don't understand. And then people come, and you ever see people, one time I saw a person like this, she was with a camera, and she's taking a picture of a camera, she keeps doing this. And she goes like this, right? I said, I understand, you have to take a picture, you have to do your hair before you take a picture. She says, no, I'm taking a picture of myself. I said, okay, I understand. Ever see people take a selfie, right? 20 minutes they're trying to pose for the selfie, make it look good, and they look like a duck at the end. Right? Ever see that? I said, what's going on here? It's not the time. But Elam says, listen, you acquired, you attained kapara. You attained atonement. I forgave you. You're a Baal Teshuvah. Please, for 7 days until Mesirat HaPitakim, until they submit in those scripts of the verdict, until they give in that prescription of what your year is going to look like, privatize your life. Don't reveal. Don't publicize. Don't post. Rabotai, anyone who's watching this, if you have a WhatsApp picture, and your WhatsApp picture is a picture of your children, please go in now and remove that picture. No one has to see your kids. No one has to take a look at them. If it's a picture of you and your wife, please remove that picture. If it's a picture of your house, a picture of your car, so you're going to say, Rabbi Zeytouneh, what should I put a picture of? No problem. You want to put a picture? Put a picture of me. That's all. No problem. That's okay. Hi, Yaniv. We're giving them out in the back of the room, my pictures, or no? You know what? We'll give out a picture of me holding a kibbeh. How about that? Good move. Okay? Let's start privatizing. At least for the next couple of hours. Let's show Borei Olam, I'm going to give back to you. Micha said, that's the way you pay God back. For that wonderful chesed Borei Olam forgave you. God says, you want to pay me back? Start hiding things. So let's go out now. There are less than 13 hours, I believe, left to Hoshana Rabbah. And let's start hiding, concealing, covering all of our accomplishments, belongings. And by doing so, we will be able to make sure that the Mesirat Petik that is given, submitted into Bidin Shalmala will be one which has on it a prescription for a year of Beracha, Levacha, Ve'atzlacha, a one of Biriut, of Refuah Shelema, of good Shidduchim and Zivugim, one of Shalom Bayit and Nachat from our children, one of Parnasat Tova. So let's get started now. And within the next couple of hours, let's turn around our lifestyles. And by doing that, if our things are samui min ha'ayin, then truly we will have beracha. I thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak with you today. And I thank you, wish you a wonderful year. Shana Tova Matuka. Thank you.